This is what we've been waiting for. It took all of, the start of December now? So October, November, it took 2 months. 2 months pretty much for us to get to this point, but my goodness, is Juraj freaking Slafkovsky here to play? Yesterday, the Montreal Canadiens played off against the Calgary Flames in Calgary, which was honestly quite an emotional game. I didn't think it would be this emotional heading into the matchup, but once you had yourselves all the press, everybody talking about one Sean Monahan, who had made Calgary his home. He was there since 2013. He was such a good, talented young player that was really derailed by injuries pretty much, and eventually he got sent over to Montreal alongside of a first-round pick. When Sean Monahan returned with the Canadiens to Calgary for the first time, this was seen as a very emotional game, and I didn't really expect it to be that way, but then again, this is what happens when you have storylines in hockey and when fans get devoted to players, because Sean Monahan definitely was a fan favorite for a while. And to make things interesting, Monahan was placed onto a line alongside of Josh Anderson and Mr. Juraj Slafkovsky, first overall pick himself, for game time. And this line got to work really quickly because the first goal of the game, it's scored by Mr. Juraj himself, and you don't need me to talk about it. We had seen this all over the highlights the past 24 hours, because this goal is wild. It's actually Jacob Markstrom who's part of the reason this goal even happens in the first place. The puck gets dumped into the Calgary end, and Markstrom goes out to play it. The problem is, he goes far out beyond his own hash marks to get it, and unfortunately, first to it is the aforementioned Sean Monahan, who just kind of leaves it there for Juraj to pick up the puck, and he's able to bury it into the open net. It happens 13 seconds into the game. It's kind of wild, but the best part about this game was that Slafkovsky actually played really well throughout the entire thing, not just the first 13 seconds where he scored a goal. This line of Slafkovsky, Anderson, and Monahan was, oddly enough, the best line of the game. And I don't know if it's because Sean Monahan went out there and had the bump, because, hey, he's playing against his old team, he's coming into the building with a boot, and nobody's worried that he's not going to be able to play. He's going to play all right. He'll play. You know he'll play. He'll play on crutches. And Monahan went out there and absolutely had a pretty good game. He had 2 assists on the 2-1 Canadiens victory. Caulfield, Suzuki, unfortunately, these guys did not go out there and produce too much at 5-on-5. Caulfield got the game winner on the power play, though, which was nice to see. But for Juraj Slafkovsky, this was such a staple game for the guy, because for the first time in a while, we actually saw Slafkovsky get legitimate minutes that are actually sort of suitable for a player of his talent profile. And the reason I say it like that is because Slafkovsky, for the most part, the past few games, has been played on the fourth line with Pezzetta, with Evans. He's getting defensive zone starts. His ice time is not really getting up there. And I mean, if you go over to the previous few games of Juraj Slafkovsky and ice time, you'll see a few 10-minute games in there, you'll see a few 9-minute, 7-minute games in there too. He played 12 minutes and 39 seconds against the Flames the other night, which was pretty good. Of course, the minutes itself isn't really that huge of a jump up, but the fact that he's getting most of these minutes in the offensive zone, and he's playing with actually talented forwards that know how to create offense and do things in Monahan and Anderson, because no offense, Pezzetta and Jake Evans, but the former are a lot better at producing offense than you guys are. This game was an opportunity. This game provided Slafkovsky a stage to showcase to everybody in Canadiens Nation and general NHL fans just what exactly Slafkovsky is capable of, because we hadn't really seen too much of that with him being played on the fourth line. I know he started out the season saying, oh, there's going to be this Slafkovsky line with Slafkovsky, Caulfield, and Suzuki. You're going to have this incredible line that's going to be so good because they're all top talents. And unfortunately, they didn't really click all too well. In fact, I'm kind of unsure as to how much they actually played together. All we do know, though, in regards to Caulfield and Suzuki, is that they're playing with Kirby Dach, and he's actually been a great fit for them, so you don't want to go out there and mess with what's working, don't you? But for Juraj, going out there and playing on this line, it really gave him an opportunity to showcase just the offensive awareness, the playmaking, the reads that he's able to do, and just the physical edge that he's able to have over so many of these guys. Might I remind you that Juraj Slafkovsky is only 18 years old, and what is he, like 200 230-something pounds. He's a big boy, and he's not turning 19 years old until the end of March, pretty much. So this is as raw a talent as you're going to be able to get, and even though he was developing so much on the fourth line, just getting used to the NHL speed, NHL systems, NHL gameplay, there still was such a talent profile of his that was laying dormant there that wasn't really able to explode when playing with guys like Pezzetta and Evans. Now, of course, one game against Calgary is one game. In fact, if Slafkovsky gets played on the fourth line, next game, I wouldn't necessarily be all too surprised, just based off of the way that St. Louis likes to run things around here. Of course, I think most people, myself included, want to see Slafkovsky stay in the top 6, but there's a reason why things have been done the way that they've been done. Slafkovsky just developing, we're all being patient with the guy. We know he's only 18, so he's not supposed to be a game changer right away. I've said this a ton over the past few years, but I really do think that prior first overall picks in Matthews and McDavid, and even second overall guys in Eichel and Laine, really tainted our expectations as fans when seeing first overall picks make their debuts in the NHL right away. Jack Hughes, Lafreniere, Owen Power, these guys did not have a sliver of the same amount of success that Connor McDavid or Austin Matthews had in their first NHL years. Owen Power didn't even make the NHL right away. Now, that was his decision, I get that, but still, the point remains. For Slafkovsky, the fact that he's here, he's doing his thing, he's playing on a Canadiens team that is giving him opportunities like this against Calgary, that in and of itself is a good thing. And wrapping up this video, I also wanted to talk about Sean Monahan because, man, oh man, has this guy been absolutely crazy. He gets 2 assists here on the night, an assist on the Caulfield goal as well as the Slafkovsky goal. Both of the goals come off the stick of Monahan in some form or another, and I feel like Monahan, really, just the way he's been playing, he's been such a fan favorite, like an underrated fan favorite so far, that I know it's probably likely the Canadiens do trade this guy, but we have been seeing some speculation out there from NHL insiders as to whether or not the Canadiens just decide to keep him. And I know that's probably not the route that you want to go out there and take with a guy like Monahan, who is 28 years old, he's on an expiring deal, etc., etc. We all know this, right? We know the situation with Monahan. But the fact is, the guy's got 16 points in 23 games played. He's on pace for 57 on the year, and that's a full year's worth of play. Sean Monahan has not played a full season since 2016-17. It's been a while. And so, for the Montreal Canadiens, they have themselves an opportunity here, not just with Slafkovsky, but with Monahan too, to really just allow this line with Josh Anderson to flourish and showcase their chops. Because if Juraj Slafkovsky is going out there looking really good, getting points, if Sean Monahan is going out there looking really good and getting points, that's a win-win for everybody involved. Monahan boosts his trade value, Slafkovsky boosts his Canadiens value or his overall value. I don't know what to put there. Like, not trade value. You're not trading Slafkovsky away, but it's just a good piece of confidence for Canadiens fans to be able to say, yeah, no, Uri's going out there and he's actually looking really good. Keeping him in the top 6 is the proper move. We don't want to see him in the bottom 6 anymore. We don't want to see him with Pezzetta. We don't want to see him with Evans. So, talk to your thoughts about yesterday's game, Calgary versus Montreal, Juraj Slafkovsky and his overall dominance on that line, and the first showcase of top 6 action we've really seen out of this guy in a very extended amount of time. Thoughts in the comments below about Slafkovsky, Monahan, etc. I hope you enjoyed this video, and bye.